We're happy to have with us this evening Dhruv Shingri. He's the co-chairman of FICCI's Tourism Committee and co-founder and CEO of Yatra.com. Also with us is celebrity chef Ranveer Brar. Both of these industries extremely important, both of these sectors extremely important. Mr. Shingri, to you first. I'm sure you welcome the resumption of domestic flights given how it's impacted the travel industry.
Absolutely. Good evening to you. We're firstly glad that the domestic flights are being resumed, but I think more importantly, we also need to wait and see what kind of operating procedures are defined tomorrow. The key thing from my perspective is not just the flights resuming tomorrow and the demand that we see in the subsequent week, because there's bound to be a certain amount of pent-up demand, but the key thing is to see how sustainable are the processes and the procedures which are defined for both the airlines and the travelers. I think that's going to be the critical thing. There was some talk earlier today of there being the need for quarantine when people reach their end destination. Now, if those kinds of measures are there, I think aviation will really struggle to take off. So it's very important to see what the kind of procedures that the government releases tomorrow. And I'm hoping that they will come out with a very balanced view, which is taking into account both the views of the airline, the safety of the passenger, and making this a long-term viable
solution. It's interesting you say that, because I did hear the aviation minister in his soundbite, the longer version of it, actually say that one of the things that makes it easier to resume domestic flying is that you don't need to quarantine people, unlike international travelers. So that was interesting. But Mr. Shingri, I guess you're also concerned that people are not exactly going to be jumping to go on holiday right now. As you said, there'll be a pent-up demand straight away, but people might be wary of flying for some time.
That's right. I think that is the big concern at this point in time, that beyond the initial spike that we will see. So there are people who are stuck in different locations. They need to get back to their hometown. Someone has a medical emergency. So there will be a certain amount of travel which will happen in the next 1 week or so. But then the question is, beyond that, what ends up happening? Are the processes and the procedures maybe traveler friendly or not? Because that is the key thing. If, for example, you have to reach the airport 2 to 3 hours before, you have a very cumbersome check-in process, and you've got the entire risk at the back of your mind as a traveler of COVID, will you actually end up traveling or not? I think that is the big question. So the resumption of the flights is a step in the right direction for sure, but how we allay the fears of consumers and how we can convince them that we are taking the right precautions in place as an aviation industry will be critical to really get the demand back up.
Going to Ranveer Brar now, the hospitality industry also very badly hit, obviously, by this lockdown, Mr. Brar. But, there's no sign yet of when people will actually be able to go and dine in. Does the sort of takeaway and home delivery of food substitute that experience and the revenue that it earns for the hospitality industry?
No, Nidhi, it doesn't. I think there are a lot of restaurants who solely depend on primarily revenues that come from people dining in, and for them to adapt that fast to an only delivery model, I don't think it's possible, because there are fixed costs, there are costs of rent, there's cost of labor that is already aligned to a business model which is dining in. I don't think the switch is that fast. I think as the second largest employer of manpower, the restaurant industry is in a really, really bad shape, and we don't see good days soon. But unfortunately, we don't even see a roadmap ahead because there was technically nothing for us in the announcements that were made. So it is going to be. It's like I say, it's good time for food because people are cooking at home, and everybody's sort of trying their hands at cooking. But it's not good time for restaurants because you're not definitely dining out.
Are you worried about a lot of closures? I saw one survey that said maybe up to 60% of restaurants in big cities could end up closing in the course of this year because they just can't sustain it anymore. Are you worried about that?
I think it's the reality staring at us in the face unless some stimulus is sort of given to the situation. In restaurants in Bombay and Delhi, pay rentals that are enormously high, 600 rupees a square feet. 550, 600 rupees a square feet. For us to say that we'll practice social distancing in those restaurants, which we should, automatically reduces my restaurant seats by half, which automatically at least reduces my revenue by half. Now, how am I going to make the numbers match, with rental being a really big chunk of my expenditure, which I really can't change, you know? Also, I haven't been open for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, you know,
but you know, if restaurants did open, say, in 6 weeks from now, and you had, you know, social distancing rules like seat only 1/3 capacity, does that work? I mean, or is that going to hit revenues very badly further?
It's just going to hit the profitability, Nidhi. You know, it's our every seat is money in a restaurant. You know, number of seats is money, and if you reduce the seats, your revenue reduces. However, if your rent is not reducing, and if there is no stimulus that you're being given, you can adjust your menu, you can reduce the staffing, you know, you can work with other variable costs. But till there is a real estate rationalization that happens, there's no end in sight for a situation that we are in. No, you know, even if you open with 1/3. Yeah.
Sorry, no, I mean, as you said, it's also linked to sort of the unrealistic rents that many restaurants have to pay in Delhi and Mumbai. But I just want to ask Mr. Sringri again, you know, this whole thing of reviving domestic tourism, which is what the Prime Minister was talking about in his last address. I mean, again, how do you think that's going to happen? How are you going to, you think, be able to, or how will people be convinced that it's, you know, safe to fly, and, you know, just to take a holiday? I mean, people's revenues, their own salary, a lot of us have had to take pay cuts. So, you know, getting demand back for the things that, we used to take for granted once upon a time, isn't that going to be a challenge?
Absolutely. I think you've hit the nail on the head. The demand part of it is, I think, for this industry, the big challenge going forward. So you will have a hit on business travel because corporate profitability is going to be impacted this year. So corporates will tighten their belt when it comes to spending on travel. And likewise, from a consumer confidence point of view, given that a lot of us have had to take pay cuts, our confidence in spending also will go down. So demand will continue to be a key challenge for the industry. Now, I also think the way holidays get taken will change quite meaningfully, at least in the near term. You'll see a lot more short-haul driving holidays happening, people trying to combine those as opposed to taking long-haul holidays like we would have been used to. So you'll see maybe, you know, people from, let's say, northern parts of India traveling to the hills where they can drive, right, as opposed to taking flights or going to places like Europe. So there'll be a lot more domestic driving travel that I think will end up happening. Air travel will take a bit more time before it really gains the traction.
All right. Well, Ranveer Brar, my final question to you is that, is there a way that the food industry can innovate and try to do things differently, whether it's by going, you know, more online, reaching out? Will people just order in more? I know it may not be a substitute for the kind of money you make with the dine-in experience, but is that maybe the only way to do it now for potentially the next year or so?
I think, you know, with a little bit of help in terms of an input tax credit and stuff, I think we can see this through. And like you said, deliveries, you know, ready to cook sort of meals, meal kits, the Blue Apron concept, you know, stuff that you can finish at home, catering to home parties, catering to smaller gatherings, giving your restaurant away to smaller bunch of people, you know, renting out your restaurant for parties, small events, because small events are going to be the way to go. Large events are not the future anymore. So I think, you know, managing yourself in the event / delivery / meal kit space with a little bit of help in terms of real estate and in terms of ITC, input tax credits, there is definitely a way to tide over this, but then that help is needed, Nidhi.
I think that cry of help there from many industries, despite that big 20 lakh crore package that the government was talking about, it actually does lack the immediate stimulus that many sectors needed to try and tide over this crisis. But good luck. We just hope that things can get better sooner rather than later. Thank you to both of you for joining us tonight. And tomorrow night, we're going to be playing out our interview with Ajay Bijli of PVR Cinemas on what the entertainment industry is going to change, what it's going to be like to go back to a theatre. Is that even going to happen anytime soon? So we'll be looking at that. We'll also be looking in detail at the Civil Aviation Minister's press conference tomorrow and what he announces will change for all of us as domestic flights resume next week. Thanks for joining us. Sanket is up next. Good night.